Good Thursday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Justin Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Thursday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we are going to go on and talk about tonight. What is it? Well, if we look on what's on tap for tonight, obviously we will talk about tonight's weather, especially how that widespread rainfall will move into the state late tonight through Friday with that much needed rainfall. That rainfall, like I said, must need for us over here, and especially with this drought going on. And we have a new drought update right now. Unluckily for us, I should say. This rainfall that we are receiving right now is not going to be added into the drought monitor until next week because the drought monitor was obviously updated at around 8 o'clock this morning. So this rainfall that we're getting now, that does not go into the drought monitor. We'll talk about tomorrow's weather as rain tapers off going from Friday into Saturday from northwest to southeast. We'll talk about the short-term future, the long-term future, rather be our dry and warm weekend or a pattern change early next week with cooler temperatures and rain chances. All of that about to come up. But if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Right now we have around a good 4 people tuned in, 4 likes, so it seems like that's about everybody. But you never know. There still could be a couple of people out there who has not hit it yet. YouTube may be glitching. And also make sure you go hit the subscribe button. We're at 710, trying to get to 800. 710, trying to get to 800. We are right now 90 away. Also hit the share button. Share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, people that you don't even talk to, people that you don't even like, because it helps us grow. Also, vote inside of the poll right now if you're inside the live forecast right now. That starts at 9 p.m. Currently, right now, well, not anymore, but just a couple of seconds ago, it was a tie. 25, 25, 25, 25, to where all options were equal in vote. So now it's not anymore, but it was a little bit earlier. So we can go on and see that it's probably going to be a bit close tonight in terms of those results. But let's go on and talk about what's currently going on. Well, right now, we do have some rainfall going on. Not really in the upstate. Upstate has gotten their rainfall for the most part. But if you look over there inside of the Midlands, inside the Low Country, inside the PD area, you're seeing rainfall. Some even moderate, ongoing. Throughout a lot of these areas. Now, for the most part, it looks like that most of this rainfall is now going to try and continue to push its way over to the east. And, that's what the models were saying earlier. They were saying that all of this shower activity that we see over here in Georgia and Alabama is going to continue to move its way over towards the east. And, I'll show the kind of the trajectory of it once we get towards the models portion of this. But it still is showing that same trajectory right now. So we will see as we continue our way through. But rainfall, possibly, locally widespread from the southern Midlands over into parts of the Low Country, into the PD, Grand Strand areas, and really just those areas right there. Now, if we look at the entire U.S., well, we also have some stuff going on. We have some severe weather going on in Alabama and Mississippi. We have some rainfall going on, obviously, Georgia, South Carolina. We have some rainfall off the coast of the Mid-Atlantic. We also have some snowfall up here in Michigan, some snowfall and some sleet going on in northern Minnesota, with some rainfall and some snowfall going on in Montana. Now, if we go on and look at what's going on in terms of our cloud cover for the most part seems like we are at really just an impasse. What do I mean by that? Just an impasse to where we are just continuing to see this cloud cover just move out of the area. I mean, this cloud cover has been here for, honestly, who knows how long now. It's been like a hot minute since we've seen this cloud cover try to move out of the way. We all are seeing nice sunny conditions. Now, there are some clear spots, and I said that this morning that there was going to be some clear spots, but it's still mostly cloudy right now. If we go on and look at our cloud cover for the future, Moving on all the way through, here's 3 o'clock in the morning right here. This goes all the way through tomorrow morning. Here's 8 o'clock in the morning, still cloudy. Going into 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock p.m., noon tomorrow, still cloudy. Moving on all the way to 4 o'clock p.m., 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock p.m., still cloudy. I mean, we have some clear spots going on up there inside of the very far upstate, but still, for the most part, cloudy. You go on and continue this forward. I mean, we're in the Saturday at this point, and we are still cloudy until we finally start to see this cloud cover starting to recede. It's finally starting to get out by the time we get into around 1 to maybe noon-ish to 1 to 2 p.m. on Saturday. And then as you move more and more into the evening hours here, 7 p.m., the upstate's free. Midland, the low country, Grand Strand areas, they're still covered. But for the most part, it's starting to finally get out by this weekend. So that's something definitely to look forward to. Current temperatures right now, you have around a good 58 in Somerville, 58 in Charleston, as well as 59 in Beaufort. You also have 59 in Hilton Island, 57 in Georgetown, 57 in Conway, 56 in Myrtle Beach, 60 Sumter, as well as 61 in Orangeburg, 60 also inside of Columbia, and 59 in Hartsville and Florence. You also have 58 in Lancaster, 61 Aiken, and 59 in Greenwood, 56 in Greenville, as well as 57 in Spartanburg, 57 Clemson, 58 in Anderson, as well as 57 in Gaffney, 58 York, and Rock Hill. Air quality, for the most part, good. We have a little moderate activity down there in the very far low country. Let me go on and kind of move it down near like Hampton, Early Branch down there near Ridgeland, Bluffton as well, Hardyville. All these areas right here have a moderate area for air quality index right now. Now, if we go on and look at our low temperatures for tonight, you have around a good 47 in Spartanburg, 48 in Greenville, as well as 49 in Rock Hill, 50 in Anderson, as well as 50 in Lawrence, 51 in Greenwood, as well as 52 in Newbury, 52 in Winsboro, and 53 inside of Camden, 55 in Florence, and 55 in Sumter, 56 in Orangeburg, as well as 54 in Walterboro, Moncks Corner, and Charleston, 57 Hilton Head Island, and 55 in Georgetown and Myrtle Beach. High temperatures for tomorrow, you have around a good 61 in Spartanburg, 63 in Greenville and Anderson, as well as 60 in Rock Hill, 60 Winsboro, and even around a good 63 in Columbia and Orangeburg, 62 in Camden and Sumter, 59 in Cheraw, Florence, 59 in Myrtle Beach, and 61 in Georgetown, 63 Moncks Corner and Charleston, as well as 65 in Walterboro and 63 in Hilton Head Island. Rainfall, this does not include really too much of tonight. This goes from 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, kind of going into around 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. So this kind of skips over a bit for tonight, but I mean, for the most part, you really could just go on and just add a little bit to your total, and that pretty much will be your whole output here. But we'll look at the models. We'll look at the actual models for it because the way how the National Weather Service does it, if you don't get it by a certain time, they will go on and just switch over. I think they do it kind of early, but that's just me. That's just my assumption of it. But this is it, 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch for Newbury, Winsboro, Shiraz included, 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch goes in for Dillon, Florence, Sumter, Columbia, Aiken, quarter of an inch for Orangeburg and King Street, quarter of an inch to a half an inch for like the entire low country. Myrtle Beach is included, Barnwell's included, Georgetown's included. All these areas have that quarter of an inch to a half an inch. Hilton Head Island has around a half an inch, and somebody may even see a half an inch to an inch down there at the very southern portion of the state, right there on that South Carolina-Georgia border. Now, if you go into the crazy score, if you have no idea what the crazy score is, it is a score that we see how crazy the weather is throughout the entire state of South Carolina. Right now, we are at a 28. Why? Well, number one, it is indeed going to be cloudy tonight. That will add rainfall. And one thing that I did not mention, but there's going to be some patchy fog. Patchy fog definitely will be a bit of a concern as you go throughout tonight. May develop late night, early morning, possible brief Visibility reductions on rural roads or bridges, overpasses. Use low beams if driving early tomorrow morning. Fog dissipates pretty quickly, especially when sunrise comes around. So now I do think that the coastal and the more close to the coastal areas you are, that's probably, those areas probably won't get as much fog cover as like the more inland areas here. Now, if we go on and look at the SPC outlook, still says that thunderstorms are still a possibility, and I mean there definitely is still a little chance that's happening right now in terms of thunderstorm activity. If I go and look at the radar right now, and we look at the 30-minute lightning probabilities right now, I mean they have it's still like 5%. So I mean, obviously it's relatively low, but a 5% chance is still a 5% chance, so it's still there. But has other people seen thunderstorms today? Probably. But right now, are they really going on? Probably not. But the environment is still there. The environment is still there right now. If we go on now and look at the SPC outlook for tomorrow, thunderstorms are again definitely still possible, but in that very southern part of the state, that being like near Hilton Island, near Hardyville, near Yemassee, near just like the west of Beaufort. So all of these areas over here still have a risk for a thunderstorm tomorrow, and then on Saturday we are good in terms of thunderstorm activity. Fire weather we're good. Excessive rainfall we're good. So let's go on and look at the models now. Here is what a lot of people were paying attention for. And if we go on and look at it right here, starting off here at 9 o'clock p.m., looks like for the most part that we are going to be starting off as we get into around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the morning. That rainfall is finally starting to move its way over to the east a little bit. And you now have that moderate precipitation now moving in from the Midlands, now into parts of the Low Country, now into parts of the PD areas, now into parts of the Grand Strand area. And so if you continue this forward all the way to 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, look at that huge plume of moisture that you see right there from Georgia. You can see it from Alabama and all of these other areas, maybe even southern Tennessee. And it moves its way over into the state. And then what do you notice about those rain showers that are happening like in the Low Country, for example? They push up to the north a little bit, and they kind of combine with that big plume of moisture almost, and it kind of moves north into it, connects, and then we have rainfall all over again back inside the upstate. Yes, the upstate, who is now dry, is going to receive more precipitation by the time we get into around, as early as 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe even as early as 2 o'clock in the morning, going all the way through. Going to be completely covered by the time you get to 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe even close to near 7 o'clock in the morning. You continue this forward all the way down here, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. right here, and now you have rainfall now going on throughout the coastal areas. You see it throughout the Low Country areas. You see it throughout the Grand Strand areas, the PD areas now, here by 8 a.m., and now, now the Midlands are covered. You continue this all the way 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock p.m., and now you have rainfall, not only light, but also a bit moderate as well, going on over inside the Low Country, going on inside of the PD Grand Strand area. Still, by the time you get into the afternoon, you get all the way through 4 o'clock p.m., 5 o'clock p.m., 6 o'clock p.m., and there is still rainfall going on throughout the state, relatively isolated. And then by the time you get to around 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., it's out. For the most part, you may have like some little coastal sprinkles here and there, but once we get into Saturday, especially Saturday, around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, it's gone. Rainfall is out, and we don't have anything else really to look for here. But like I said, we still have this whole system to go by. Just look at how much rainfall we'll try to come by with the system as we continue throughout. Look at all the morning rainfall, going into the afternoon as well. And so, if we go in and look at the lightning flash density as well, we go on and look at the lightning activity. This goes all the way into tonight, goes until tomorrow morning. And then by the time you get to around 3 p.m. here on Friday, you still have thunderstorm activity definitely possible. I mean, you see some in the low country, tri-county areas as well, with some thunder potentially popping off. But, not as crazy as it may be out to sea, obviously. You continue this forward, and you don't really see anything else in terms of thunderstorm activity in the Saturday, obviously. But Friday, definitely, I would not be surprised to see they maybe expand that thunderstorm threat a little bit more on Saturday, maybe potentially. So let's go and look at the total QPF. So this goes throughout the next 48 hours, and the HRRR shows a picture of a good amount of rainfall. I mean, it shows an inch up here near Columbia. It shows about an inch and a half up here inside of Sumter. It shows around a good inch and a half near Myrtle Beach. Maybe around only 3/10 near Charleston. Same thing over here near Hilton Head Island. So, shows the majority of that rainfall being in the Midlands, but one thing that you don't realize, or one thing that you may not have realized, is if you look back at the rainfall, total precipitation amount, obviously because this is for, tomorrow morning, doesn't account for all that rainfall that's going to fall in the upstate during the nighttime hours. So that's why it says the upstate's not getting any rainfall, even though, like I said, that's for 7 a.m. going into 7 a.m. Saturday morning. So this does not include, that didn't include tonight's rainfall. This does, and so this definitely does give us a better picture of what it could potentially look like. Now, if we go into the actual forecast from the National Weather Service, or the WPC, we can go through the next 48 hours. This goes through Saturday at 7 p.m. So this is their official forecast and what they think, what their totals are. You want to push this forward? I mean, you see around a good half an inch near Columbia. You see maybe 8/10 of an inch near, over here near Sumter. 9/10 of an inch over here near Myrtle Beach. But one thing that I will say is that it doesn't really get the upstate that much. Does not really get it that much. Honestly, I'm kind of wondering why the upstate isn't really included that much. But for the most part, like I said, from just what the HRRR says, I honestly think that this is probably a bit more on the accurate side right now. For right now. Obviously, the professionals are the professionals, so we still respect their decision for what they ever choose for their rainfall amounts. But now that that is out of the way, what about for the long-term future? What about for the long-term future? We're gonna start off here at the 54-hour mark where we just ended off on, and as we just continue our way through, going all the way, starting off here on the Saturday, 7 p.m. We go in and push this forward, and we stay mostly dry. I mean, throughout the weekend, nice and dry. Saturday, Sunday, having fun. Hopefully in the sun on Sunday, but we'll see what areas, get that sunshine or whatnot. But that goes all the way through. Monday comes along. Tuesday comes along. Then you get into Wednesday, and if you remember what I was talking about that cold air damming setup that's going to happen on Tuesday, that freezing rainfall threat, no longer really inside the state, as most of that moisture now is now up in North Carolina. So, maybe like that may have just been like a little one-run wonder thing right there. That continues all the way through Wednesday. That continues all the way through Thursday. And then as you go all the way through Friday, I mean, just nothing really too crazy. I mean, yeah, we see rainfall here and there, but I'm not really seeing anything that's really catching my eye until we get to this little system right here into the middle part of March, but that's 300 plus hours out. So me personally, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm seeing showers and, activities here and there, but after this main system right here is done, going into, tomorrow and parts of Saturday, I'm not really seeing anything too crazy here. I'm just really just not seeing anything too crazy. Like I said, just this little freezing rain potential as you get into next week, Tuesday, but other than that, that's about it. And so, if we go on and look at the anomalies real quick, you go on and push this forward, we get into this weekend, we start seeing still above average, but more near normal temperatures as we go into this weekend. We go into Monday, and then that cold air damming setup sets place. And then, we have temperatures trying to get down into the freezing, range. We'll see if the models still kind of agree with that. But for right now, it's still showing below average temperatures as we go into early next week. That will bring, a little bit of a rain chance as well. If we continue all the way through, once that setup is done, we're going to warm right back up as we get into like Wednesday of next week. We're going to warm back up, go back to being pretty much dry. And we're even going to be 20 to maybe even close to 25 degrees above average at points as we continue throughout like the later parts of next week going into the early part of not next week, but the week after next week. And then, for the most part, everything else that's a bit too far out, but definitely a warm future. Definitely a warmer future. Now, I'm not going to say warm, but I will say a warm future is definitely possible for us as we continue throughout the next 300 to 400 hours. Now, that's a huge scale, and things definitely will change, but I could definitely say warm future throughout the next 100 to 200 hours or so, if we don't include really Tuesday that much. But that time frame right there, past that time frame for sure, warm future definitely is in a store. That goes all the way through in terms of temperatures for Saturday. We go all the way through here Sunday. High temperatures being up into the 70s. We go into Monday, and then those temperatures start to drop. And you don't really see as much freezing temperature action as we did last night. So if you don't want freezing temperatures, well, that is probably good news for you. Very good news that system that we were seeing yesterday with all that cold air being brought down isn't bringing as much as it was forecasted to yesterday. So that's something good to look at. You can see, as that cold air setup sets up just to the east of the mountains, we're super cold. They're getting up into the 80s over here in Louisiana, up into Arkansas, maybe even ports of Mississippi as well, trying to get up to the high 70s-ish or so. But we continue to push this forward. We get back up into the 70s, as we get into that Wednesday of next week, going into Thursday, maybe trying to get back into the 80s. Friday comes along. Just nice. Just nice conditions going on. We're seeing 80s throughout a good amount of the state going into next week, especially the later parts of next week. That Saturday right there, definitely going to be a good day. Next weekend, I'm honestly kind of interested to see how next weekend's going to look, and that just looks like it's just a fantastic weekend right there. If we don't have any rainfall with it, but if we go back and look at it, which let me see, that is the 7th right there. It has, it has maybe some rainfall up there inside the upstate, but I don't really see anything else for any other areas until maybe you get into Sunday. But Saturday, definitely does look better, and again, it's 200 plus hours out, so things definitely could change. Speaking of things changing, let's go ahead and switch to the ensembles, because we are getting, outside of that 200 hour range. And we can look at more things more on a mean basis, meaning more on average. We continue this all the way through. You still see high 70s, mid 70s, even throughout, the ensemble. So that's still a good sign. We're seeing still 70s staying about as you get all the way through, not only through next weekend, but potentially the week after. We're still seeing 70s come along, but still seeing that potential cool down as we get into the mid part of March that we're still trying to figure out. But that's pretty much all I have to say in terms of the long-term future. So it's drought time now. It is drought time. If you have no idea what the drought time is, it is pretty much a prediction that we see. We have a forecast or a drought monitor that gets put out by the U.S. Drought Monitor. And what they do is they go on and they put it out for us. I don't see it. I don't check it. I wait until tonight. I wait all day. I hopefully try to avoid it all, wherever it may be posted at. I just try to avoid it in general, so I don't see it. And so I go in and participate in it as well, as where we go in and guess what the forecast is going to be. And so right now, it's a pretty good amount right now. I mean, we have 17% said that the drought has expanded, 50% said that the drought has shrunk slash stayed the same, 17% said that the drought is gone or the abnormally dry remains, and then 17% also says the drought and the abnormally dry is gone. And so, um, really happy that there's some very optimistic people, especially saying that the drought and the abnormally dry is gone, because there is a drought going on right now for the state. At least last week there was. So the fact that there's already a good amount of people who already think it's gone, very optimistic. Same thing for the people who said that the drought is gone, but the abnormally dry remains. I mean, we had a severe drought going on. So very optimistic. 50% said that the drought has shrunk slash stayed the same, and 17% said that our drought has expanded. So if we go in and look at it, let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. Here's the models right here. Or not the models, but the observations for the past 7 days. It shows how much rainfall we've received over the past 7 days, and definitely a good amount. And if you go in and compare this with last week's, right here, it shows for the most part a good amount of a drought still going on. I mean, this is around a D3 extreme going on up there inside the upstate. You have severe around it. You have moderate around here and there. You have severe going on in spots. And so it's looking like that even with that amount of rainfall, I'm not quite sure if it necessarily would have taken it down enough. I don't think it would have taken it down enough. That's just my opinion on it. And so I think maybe it took some down on the low country part, but the upstate, I just don't think that that's enough to really do too much. So I'm gonna be part of the majority and say that the drought has shrunk, so that stayed the same. But I would not be shocked one bit if it expanded. Would not be shocked if it didn't affect it at all, and it just actually expanded even more. 'Cause, I mean, it was a little bit warm, but I mean, definitely wasn't. It was cool, cold, frigid cold, down to the 20s, earlier this week. So that may have to do something with it, but I doubt it. So let's go and get a drum roll real quick, and we will go on and reveal this. I'm going to go to the excessive rainfall as a placeholder while I go on and get the drum roll ready to go. And okay, this definitely does look like more of a expansion um on the northern side. Definitely was an expansion on the northern side. The southern side, though, there definitely was a bit of a decrease. If you go in and compare it right now, this is what it looked like last week. This is what it looked like last week. If you pay attention, especially down here to like Orangeburg, going on over here towards Allendale, over into some of these other counties over here, they are now out of the D2. They're now in the D1. So some of those counties being areas like Barnwell, parts of Bamberg as well is included in there. Calhoun County is no longer in the D2 anymore. And then also, let's see, Marion County is still technically in that area still. So they didn't really get out of it much. I think now all of Marlborough County is now included in it, and then also Dillon County as well is now included in it. But like I said, oh, and also up here in the very far upstate, Oconee County is now included inside the D3. Pickens County now included in the D2, the northern part of it. Northern Greenville County is now put inside of the D2 as well. So honestly, I think for the most part that while there definitely were some areas that definitely reduced its drought a lot, especially that being near like Orangeburg, that being near Bamberg, that being near Barnwell counties as well. There was a lot of expansion that happened as well, and so I think that definitely is going to have to, I think I'm gonna have to go with the 17% that said that the drought has expanded, which I believe Uh, yeah, the 17% that said that the drought has expanded. So that's the one of the minority polls. So we're gonna go on and get the applause started because I think that they definitely got it correct for tonight. So, if you said that the drought has expanded, you are definitely correct for tonight. So, congratulations to the 17%. Obviously, we're not cheering for any droughts to continue, but just not a whole lot of rainfall in a lot of those areas that really needed it. And then, as it just continues to expand, I'm just really just seeing more of an increase more than just a decrease. But that's all that I really have to say in terms of the drought monitor. So let's go in and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off, let me go ahead and see. Ms. Chris was here first. She says, "Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day." I did. Thank you so much for asking. My Aunt Lewis says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you." Mr. Chris says, "Currently it's 59 degrees here in Monk's Corner with a rain shower. Right now at my house, it's around a good 58 right now, and it is. Is it raining right now? No, it's not raining right now. Not raining outside right now." Mr. Anthony says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you." My Aunt Lewis says, "Hopefully everyone had a wonderful day." Well, I did. Thank you so much for asking. She says today in Georgetown, high was 62. My high today was around a good 68-ish or so. Was around a good 68. Mr. Chris has got around 65. My Lewis says currently it's 56 and raining. Mr. Chris also says, "Please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button if you have not already. It's free, helps the channel grow. Also, will get vital information out to those who might need it. Be kind and share." Absolutely. Right now, we have around a good 17 people tuned in and only 5 likes. I mean, if you're a part of the 12 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free. You can change your mind at any time. I mean, sharing is caring. Sharing is caring, as well. So go on and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you have not already. My outlook says most of the day it was cloudy. Mr. Chris says same. Yes, it was very cloudy here and a light breeze off the lake. We're doing well tonight. Much needed rainfall as we speak in Monk's Corner. Any percent is still a chance, absolutely. Thad says, "Good evening, just from the 360 weather family. I trust all is well with everyone. It was another beautiful day here in San Antonio. It was a bit windy, but beautiful. Beautifully blessed nonetheless." And then also Thad says, "Tomorrow I plan on planting some fruits and veggies in our little garden. The passion fruit is starting to get some deep green color to the leaves, so that is great." Well, that's great to hear. Thank you so much for that weather update. Unfortunately, I don't think the lemon, lime, and guava plants will come back. So I guess we are going to get more to plant in pots instead of the ground. Today's high was around a whopping 96 degrees. 96 degrees. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, that's huge. That's a huge boost up from what we thought. I mean, we thought it was going to be around 91. So definitely a whole 5-degree increase. And I know a lot of areas down there in Texas. I was seeing it, being posted all day. People were saying, "Oh, we're getting 100 degrees. We're getting 100 degrees all down there in southern Texas as well." So I know they definitely got hot. Even just to the south where you are. Mr. Chris says, "What's the Cape looking like for us now?" Cape for right now, I'd have to go ahead and check that. I'll check that out for you in just a second. But Cape, it's definitely not strong enough for us to, get anything severe right now. My outlook says Georgetown is getting a lot of rainfall. Even though it was cloudy and raining, our temperature is comfortable. And then Miss Chris says there wasn't that much, so I said it expanded, and you were correct. And then also, don't forget that there was another earthquake today as well in the Midlands. I did see that. We'll go on and talk about that in just a second. And then for the most part, that's it. I don't see anything else here for me, so we're gonna go on right now and check on the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, and you're like 4 locations, What are you talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these four areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go on and give them their forecast for them. Starting off with San Antonio first, you have low temperatures tonight at around 62, high temperatures tomorrow at around 86, and low temperatures tomorrow night at around a good 61 ish or so. For the most part, precipitation, like I said, not expected. Severe weather, excessive rainfall, you're all good. I mean, just nothing really here to look at in terms of severe weather and excessive rainfall for the most part. Now, SPC outlook's taking a hot minute here, but for the most part, no excessive rainfall for you either. Pretty much for any location, no excessive rainfall. And then, same thing like I said with severe weather. No area has any risk for any sort of severe weather or excessive rainfall. So, I mean, everybody's good. Everybody's good. For your future, looks like for the most part that you will be continuing to stay in those 80s. You may drop down to the low 80s maybe on Monday of next week, but that's about it. You'll still be up into the 80s. Lows being in the 60s. Maybe a bit gusty tonight and on Saturday, possibly even all the way through, Monday night. Wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour all the way through Saturday through Monday night. So it will continue to stay gusty for you. Then for Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at around 47, high temperatures tomorrow at around 54, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at around 44. Definitely, there is a chance of rainfall tonight. Areas of fog is in the forecast as well for tonight and tomorrow. There is a slight chance of rainfall tomorrow, and then after you get past that, precipitation is unexpected. For your future, looks like that you will be warming up as you get into this weekend, but then by the time you get into around that Monday time frame ish or so, Tuesday time frame ish or so, you start to kind of go back down. But it won't really last that long, because then as you get into later parts of next week, you will start to warm back up too. Now, in terms of your precipitation, you may see some rainfall Monday going all the way through into like Wednesday, but after that, that's pretty much it. Everything else is just staying dry for you. For Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 27, high temperatures tomorrow at 46, and low temperatures tomorrow night at around 31. Precipitation not expected at this time. On Monday, you have a little chance of snowfall. And then for your future in terms of temperatures, for the most part, again, just staying more in the 40s. May get down to the 30s a little bit on like Monday potentially, but just staying really in the 40s and for your highs, except for that one day on Monday, and then after that, chance of rainfall as you get through into next week. And then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, low temperatures tonight at around 45, high temperatures tomorrow at around 77, then low temperatures tomorrow night at 51. Precipitation not expected. In terms of your temperatures for the future, you will go on and you will, try to climb up this weekend. You will go back down going into next week, but then you'll climb right back up again as you go into the later parts of next week. And then for your precipitation, you definitely will have potentially a stormy weekend. 40% chance of thunderstorms on Saturday, 40% chance of rainfall Sunday, Sunday night, Monday night. So definitely could be pretty active. Even Tuesday, 50%, and a 60% all the way throughout next week. So it's going to be a rainy week for you as you go into next week. And so that's it there for outside of South Carolina. But yeah, Mr. Wirtz did say we did in fact have an earthquake today. There was an earthquake today. And so where was it? Well, like he said, it was over here in the Midlands. It was over here in the same area near Irmo, South Carolina. And so if I go ahead and read it, it was a 3.0. Happened at around 12:17 p.m. this afternoon. And it was a 3.0. So kind of in that same spot. If we go in and look real quick and look at the past 30 days, you can see the other two, actually the other three. You have one right here, one over here, one over here. And then the main one was over here. They're all happening almost in that same point. So, kind of in the same areas for like, the past in like the past month or so. So, that's what we're looking at here. And so obviously, when will the next one happen? Obviously, nobody could tell. Nobody could know, when the next earthquake can happen. But definitely just be prepared for it, just in case if something happens. And for the most part, I mean, that's about it. Nothing else really for me to talk about there. I have seen the videos on it, though. And then for the most part, I think that's about all that I have to say. It is raining at my house now. You can see at the top right part of the screen now it says light rain. So it is raining here now. That, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, go on to do so. We're at 710, trying to get to 800. Go and hit the share button as well. Share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, and then people that you don't even, people that you may not even talk too much. And then also go on and hit the like button as well. Make sure you want to hit those two buttons before you leave. Top fans of the night for tonight was, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, Mr. Chris at number 1 for tonight. Lou's at number 2. Thad's at number 3. Congratulations to the three of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fan, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. That's when we go on and do this forecast, also being active, being a subscriber, and then also being here early. I will be back tomorrow morning for your Friday morning forecast update. One more day to go. We will be there to the weekend. Also be here tomorrow evening as well for your Friday evening forecast update. Hit those two buttons before you leave if you're new.